My name is Jan Johnson. I've been a member of Trinity for, goodness gracious, how many years? 60.
1971.
Since 1971. So, been my church family for a long, long time. Well, my grandmother and my mother both had a very strong faith. Prayer and church and was very, very important. I went to high school and we had the junior league and stuff like that. And I'm not sure where it really struck. If it was after we got married or we had lots of ups and downs. But God was always there. And when we joined Trinity, I got involved there and life kind of took over in a different direction because I was involved in so many things there that it was kind of amazing. My mother was very shy, so she would do things in the background, Sunshine Club and stuff like that. And my grandmother was very quiet with her faith too, but she had it there. And I suppose that's where it started, with both of them had a strong faith. And that's carried me through 60-some years of marriage and lots of ups and downs, 4 kids who naturally have given you times of grief sometimes. And but through it all, God's been there carrying me through, and He's carrying me through now. It was a real shock. I'd been having a lot of bladder infections for a year. And then all of a sudden, they took an x-ray and said, "You're full of cancer," which just really kind of blew my mind. I'd been active up until that point, and then all of a sudden, the cancer took over, and we tried to fight it, but cancer was a little stronger than us, so we decided to let it be, we're ready. So, we went through chemo and immunotherapy and radiation, and some of it worked for a little while, but cancer was stronger than that, so we decided it's time to just let that be part of the past, and God will take me where He wants me. I was graduated from high school and came to visit my aunt in Milwaukee and found out about x-ray school, so I went to x-ray school. 2 years in Milwaukee. My dad's sister was living there, and so it was convenient to visit, and my parents would come to visit, and so that was good. I worked at Riverside for 23 and a half years, I guess, in the x-ray department. And kids, we were able to watch the kids grow and attend as many games of theirs as we possibly could, but with 4 of them going in lots of different directions, it was difficult. My husband was on the road selling, so I was pretty much home alone trying to raise the kids, but lots of friends' support, and I spent lots of time at the church fulfilling things that were volunteering and starting different things. I never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that I would have led a Bible study for 20-some years. And it wasn't that I knew anything, but leading a Bible study is just you ask the questions and then you sit back and watch the dialogue pretty much, So I grew as much from them as anything, I think. Um, Started helping hands. It was always felt so good to do stuff for somebody else. So we started that when Donna Rickle was sick. We said, we got to do something to help the family, and that's kind of how Helping Hands started. And we've helped a lot of people over the years with numerous things, rides and meals and support, just lots of support. And because the funniest part of all of this was that I hated to use the telephone. That was, whenever there was calls to be made, it was like, Bob, you like to use the phone, you do it. And with Helping Hands, I had to make calls. I had to search out people and try to figure out who would be best to drive this person, or who would be best to do this for this one. You didn't just say, oh, call this one up and say, drive. I mean, I remember a couple of them said, no, I don't want that driver. They drive a little too fast. So had to kind of match. There was a little mixing and matching had to be done with the Helping Hands, but I had so many good volunteers that I still do. We called Terry Schwartz the other night because we were looking for a ride for Bob to go to Green Bay, and he got a ride, but Terry had been driving for Ruby's Pantry, and he called back and he said, oh, sure, anytime. So we got lots of people that will help. I don't know, when I was young, I thought, oh, you're young, I was going to be a secretary or whatever, and going into the medical field was really kind of far out, but it seemed like it ended up being a fit. So many of my kids have had, or my husband have had, health issues that have needed a little bit of a first aid thing that I learned, stuff I learned working at the hospital. And so I think, it took a turn to, I guess I never thought that's where I would have gone, but now I keep thinking I should have gone to school, gotten a medical degree or whatever, because of all the stuff we've been going through lately with different ones. But it's God had a plan, and I guess I wasn't sure where he was taking me, but when I look back and I see where my life has gone, why, it's been a very good life, a very good, rich life. And Trinity has been probably the biggest part of that, because that's for a while there, they wanted to know if I slept there because I was always there. And they said, you got a bed here somewhere? But it was jobs and things that I enjoyed doing, and that was my church family, yeah. It was very important to us. Once a week we had Bible study with people, and everybody thought, we had it easy until we started sharing, and everybody had issues, and I think with the small groups, people are more open and can share them. When it's a small group, it's intimate, and it's what's said there stays there. And they find out that they see you walking down the street, you don't have it all together. You've got you've got issues too. Everybody has issues. So, and if you can share those with somebody else and know you're not alone, well, that's a big deal. It's a big deal. To give comfort to somebody else when they're struggling is important. And yeah, I was a hospice volunteer for many years. I think my last one was Daryl Cronjuice was my last patient that I had but I had several from Trinity that I sat with and cared for. It's really, I've been thinking a lot about that, about, planning your funeral and that, and I thought, that's really kind of weird, your funeral is when you're not here anymore. And to be planning different things for it is really kind of strange. Being on the other end of hospice, yeah, they come in and they've been wonderful. I can't say enough. We had hospice with my mother like only a few hours. We had it just for a very short period of time with my father. And then I helped with Alice Jensen when she was diagnosed. She had cancer so very bad, and I sat with her, and it's just been kind of natural to be on that other end, and now they have come in, and it's just kind of overwhelming how much they will do for you, and they'll help you to make you comfortable, and it's very special, very special. They've got so many, everybody has a job, there's a social worker, there's a chaplain, and I said, I think I'm well spiritually fed, so I don't need their chaplain right now, so. So we're doing well in that area right now. But they already had a gal call a volunteer that wanted to come. And I was trying to remember how I got set up when I was a volunteer. I guess I did have a regular schedule that I would take the time and would visit and whatever it was, just visit if they're, or take them to the doctor's office or be there. Just, that was one of the things with hospices, that you can't fix it. You're not there to fix it. You're just there to have your presence be known, that you're there and they're not alone. So nobody has to die alone. So if you can just be there to hold their hand or whatever, that means a lot. It means a lot. Yeah, I don't know. It was always important. Kids went to Sunday school, and it was, that's just the way it was, it was part of life. It was, Sunday was church, and there wasn't any question. And when we traveled, even we'd look up and find a church Saturday night, so we'd have some place to go to church on Sunday morning. And we still, if we miss church Sunday, it's something's missing. There's a void. There's a big void. That's been and now I've got my daughter-in-law is reading devotions over the phone to me in the morning, so because she knew I can't read anymore, and that I missed my devotions. Bob and I would do 3-4 devotions every morning. We'd read together. What is that? Daily Bread and Anchor, and a couple from the church we would read. So that's been, and the kids have always known church has been part. When we first joined, Mary and Martin came to visit us because there wasn't an established minister, I don't think, at that time. And she came to visit, and so we started a small group at their house. So with Jan Hankey and Vern. So funny, Vern was so funny. He always liked that verse where you go in your closet and pray. That was his verse. He would always silently go to his closet to pray. Kids always knew Mom was praying because, at the Kleenex box. Because she's deep into it, but that's kind of how it was. I know that there have been people praying for me for all over the world since this diagnosis. And I just feel that has kept me strong to this point. I can't imagine not praying. At this point, I have a hard time doing that myself, but I know people are praying for me, and that makes all the difference in the world. When you can't pray for yourself, and you know people are praying for you, that's it. That's it. My concentration and my focus is really bad now, so it's been very important that I know people are praying for me. I've tried. I sent a card to Barb Anderson, and my writing has gotten so very, very bad. But I've tried to keep track. I see we get the prayer chain, and I see it, and I know it's there, and I know people are needing prayer. So yeah, try to keep up with it as much as I can. I think I've had people come and say, that you've helped me, and I don't even remember. No, I guess what amazes me is how many lives you touch and you don't know about it. You know, how strange it is. My kids say, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, and we got a nice gift certificate from one of Randy's friends. It's amazing, how many people's lives you touch and you really don't know. You really don't know, and it doesn't take anything big. It can be the smallest thing that makes an impression on somebody. Just the smallest thing. I hope so. I'm not sure about it some days, but I hope so. I hope this dragging this out has been that there's some reason for it, I guess. My goal had been to be at my granddaughter's wedding June 1st, but well, I said, well, I'll be there either in spirit or I'll be there somehow. As it has been closer and closer, we don't know what God has in store, so we'll see. We'll see. That's all I can say is we'll see.
That's a natural conclusion right there. Anything else you want to say, Jan?
Just that I can't thank my Trinity family. That's been such a stronghold for me. And I hope they realize how much they have uplifted me through the years. It has been a true blessing. True blessing.